Looking to play some Urgot? Well, I got you covered. So one of the benefits of playing old shotgun legs. Well, he's got great sustained damage, good poke since you're a ranged top laner, very tanky, easy to pick up and play, good scaling, and come on, he's got shotgun legs. Now this does come with some downsides. All his abilities are skill shots basically. Not very strong early game. Not really a big old carrying champions. And since he has 8 appendages, he's technically a spider, not a crab. Now with that out of the way, let's get into those abilities. Alright, it's time to take a trip back to Edgelordville with these ability names. His passive is Echoing Flames. I told you before, his legs are shotguns, and whenever they're prepped and ready to fire, you fire on that side that the leg is on, dealing bonus damage and percent health damage. And that's why you do that little walk around people, so you can get those procs off. His Q is Corrosive Charge. This will fire a vial of green goo towards the enemy, and if you hit them, you'll deal damage and slow the target for about a second. His W is Purge. This is definitely his signature ability, so get ready for this.
This lets your other abilities mark the target, and now that the target is marked, they take priority for your W ability. This ability is set on cooldown, but once you hit the 5th rank, it can be toggled on and off. When this is active, Urgot sets his attack speed to max, ignores the unit collision, gains slow resistance, and loses a big chunk of movement speed. Your attacks deal modified damage when this is active, usually reducing the normal auto attack damage for a trade-off of firing faster. Your on-hit effects have 50% effectiveness, and you can't critically strike. When this ability is active, it will target only the closest target, not necessarily a champion, so just keep that in mind, unless the champion is marked with your other ability.
Is that it? I think that's it. His E is Disdain. This will give you a shield, you jump forward to the targeted location, deal damage, and then throw the enemy over your head, just like Volibear used to do. His ult is Fear Beyond Death. This fires a drill that will impale the first enemy hit, dealing some damage and slowing the target. If the enemy hit is below 25% of their max HP, you can recast this, pull them into that tum-tum, executing them and fearing all enemies around you. Now with that out of the way, let's take a look at those runes. Well, those runes, you want to make sure to take that Precision Tree, press the attack as your keystone, Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Then, because we're also a big beefy Barra boy, we want to go Shrek Tree for that extra durability. You can swipe out Press the Attack for Conqueror, but you do you. Then you should also take Flash and Teleport. Ignite's fine too. Now next up, let's take a look at those items. Now you want to be one tanky boy to stay in the fight longer so you can keep dealing that sustained damage, so we're going to take Jock Show. However, don't build that first. Try and get either Black Cleaver or Titanic Hydra before that. Steric Gaze is also good to buy. Then get up your boots, then pick any tanking item depending on the enemy team and keep you in the fight. Now, not a lot of combos, but let's go over some combos and tips. Now, to maximize your damage with Urgot, you want to do a W toggle. That means 3 auto attacks with your W active, then auto attack with it off, then repeat. Remember, when you do engage on an enemy, to walk around them when you're W active, that way you're continually proccing your shotgun leg. You do have one big combo available to you. If the enemy wants to walk up, you can E into them, flip them over, Q at their landing position behind your back, auto attack, and then activate your W for that extra damage. Now, if you do want to be a little bit more surprising, you can buffer your E, then flash towards them, and then do the same combo. You can also throw in your ult there too if you feel like they can't get away from you. Remember, your ult does have a hefty slow attached to it, so if you hit the enemy before you do this combo, then it gives you a time to approach them. Buffering just means casting before you flash. Last thing, if you hit your ult and you have an enemy coming towards you to die, if you do have your flash up, you can flash into the enemy team and then fear them so that you have CC for the entire enemy team for that fight. And that's it. We did it! We're in the game, and we're going to take this sword or the shield depending on if the enemy is ranged or not. But we do want to take this WD-40 to keep our legs from making some squeaking noises. Now let's get into that laning phase. Now that we're in lane, there are a lot of matchups that we have the range advantage. Your range isn't huge, but it's good enough so you can poke and bully enemy top laner. However, you don't have the highest burst damage, so you want to be careful for champions that can all-in you. Just try and zone the enemy off the wave if you can, and try and play relatively safe. Once you're over your early bullying, most champions will be able to outduel you unless you have a kill or level lead against them, so just try and play safe until level 9. Once you hit level 9, your W is at max ranks, and now you have a no mana toggle paired with the items that you have, and you're ready to shred some fools. Just continue to poke the enemy low with your range advantage, then once they're low, you can engage with those combos and finish the job. Once they're dead, you are extremely good at shoving the lane with your passive in your W, so you can push the lane, take some plates, and Krauser that tower. Now let's get into that mid-game. Now that your tower's down, you want to keep up the side lane pressure. You can shove your lanes with your passive now that you hit your power spike, and you should be able to win those extended trades. Keep pushing the opposite lane to the objective to have the enemy match you, then you can teleport it in for that 4v5 advantage. Now when you are in team fights, you're best for a follow-up engage where you can ult and continue a chain CC. During those fights, you'll deal a lot of sustained damage, so you just want to stand in the middle and just auto attack them a bunch. When your TP isn't up, you still want to be in side lanes, but you want to be more cautious with objective timers as you still want to be there for those fights. Just try and ult a low health champion, flash into the enemy team, and fear them all! Because who's not afraid of a spider with a buzzsaw stomach? Push lanes, win fights, win games. We did it! We won the game, and if you enjoyed this, check out Yone with his 2 swords! Talk to you later!